Good morning, my dear friends. I hope it's nice where you're at today. I'm right next to a big bay window at the front there. It's a little chilly here in southern Maryland, but at least it's sunny. So that much. At least we can go outside. A little cold and take out the trash. But I was just reading through some of my father's poems, and I want to mention to you all that I know I've mentioned before that I was married at 18, first man I ever dated. I had my child, Christina, who's 57 now, and she's the one that has relapsing polycarditis. Actually, that's the only reason I'm getting back on again today is she's been in the hospital. She now has pneumonia, but they've sent her home. Thank God, because I know you all are still praying for her constantly. I know that she never leaves my thought and prayers and our family. But I never had friends. So I had her the day after my 18th birthday, and I was only married to my husband. Never dated anyone else. We were married for 44 years. And since he's passed, I haven't dated since. So I live in a rather rural area. The population here, the whole population, we have one grocery store, and it's only 8,000, the whole population of Southern Maryland. We're just the borderline. We're right at the Charles County. We're welcome to Southern Maryland. We're like not even a block away from it. But anyway, I've never had really actually friends where you go out shopping with your girlfriends and you go pick out clothes with your girlfriends. My whole life, and probably some of you too, has been spent taking care of my children. My husband was ill through most of our marriage. I'd say after our second child started getting ill, we had 4 children. The oldest, which is 57. And the youngest is Daniel, who I live with. But I never had girlfriends to go shopping with, and I've always been kind of envious of that, where your girlfriend will blow the horn for you, and you and her kids and your kids all go to the movie theater and stuff like that. I never did that because when I did have to start working, my husband got so bad off as a makeup artist, and I did a little bit of modeling when I was a teenager before I met my husband. My mother sent me to, it was either Sears or Montgomery Ward, those albums they used to, those little albums they used to carry or whatever, the catalogs, the catalogs. And I got sissified one day and wouldn't do it. Probably did it only about 2 days, and then we had to do the runway. And they told me I was prepared for the runway, and I wasn't. I didn't realize then I was having panic attacks. So those have stuck with me my whole life. But and then I worked, but I'd come straight home from work because my husband always had some kind of illness. It was like I've had a at-home heart attack, but he had a heart attack at home too. But I had to take him to the hospital, and he had a little bit of heart surgery after that, and it just got worse and worse. Then he had a 5-way bypass, and then they discovered the cancer the first time before the heart attack, and then the cancer again after the first surgery, and then again after the 5-way bypass surgery. Anyway, it was nothing but a nightmare of tears. I used to spend my whole life sitting out in our backyard, which got foreclosed on because I couldn't make enough money to pay for the house. And that's why I lost everything: car, home, some of this furniture. I had that, thank God. And my son and I only had to buy new drapes because this house was much smaller than our other house. But I just want to read. I was reading my dad's poems, thinking if I could find something for Easter to read you all, because poems are beautiful, and my father would say these so poetically to you, because he was called the poet laureate of Capitol Hill. And I can't, because I can't see good, and I have to put on 10 pairs of glasses and hold them up to me, and can't put the right music in with it, or the wording, or the way it should be framed, like on Dreamscapes. Oh my heavens, those poems are just breathtaking the way he does them. Mark Bennett, I believe, yes, he does beautiful work, and so beautiful, peaceful meditation music, and also poetry. His poetry is beautiful, like the pages open up, and I think he reads them or the words go up above. But I'll have to read them to you because you have made the later part of my life so much different than the beginning part of my life. The first years, all the years of my life, like after my husband died, I had no interest in getting friends or anything. I became more and more agoraphobic, stayed in the house, more and more depression. Could see nothing but my husband dying in front of my eyes. I had also lost my mother, my sister, and my husband all in a row right before my husband passed away. So I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, lost everything. Then I had nowhere to go. And my son made sure this was all he could afford at the time. But now it's we're in a rural area. We don't have really anybody. You can't walk here or anything because we have a major highway. Our house is recessed to the far back. And there's no sidewalk. We don't have street lights. It just flies by. You'll hear the traffic like 500 miles an hour. But anyway, what I'm getting at is you all have made the later part of my life the happiest because other than my children, I have so many friends now that I go to bed at night now and I feel kind of proud of myself for a change instead of depression. And I still have depression. I haven't left the house since the heart doctor, and I still cancel my appointment again until I believe it's April the 7th. But you all have made this part of my life happy. Like I have a YouTube channel. I have 600 and some subscribers, which I wouldn't believe. I originally only had 18, which was everybody, my grandchildren and my great grandchildren and my children. That was it. That's how many I have. That many great grandchildren. But that was it. That was all I had. And then Natalie, the beauty diva, shouted me out and got me more. And if you need some help with your channel, I would be glad to shout you out. And because I believe we can help every other woman, especially us older women. I mean, I know most of you aren't as old as me. I'll be 75 in a few months. But I watched a 57-year-old, same age as my daughter this morning. I subscribed to her channel with Becky because why can't we subscribe to everybody's channel if they need help and if we like their content? If they seem to be good, decent people. There's so many people that will not say your name and they don't want you to say you have a YouTube channel on their comments. And it just doesn't seem right. I mean, women for women. That's why us older women have been put down so much in life and felt inferior, and we still do. I try to dress up. This is in the house. Believe me, I'm going to take every bit of it off after this YouTube. Put on my really stinky clothes again. I'll probably try to pick up a few sticks in the yard, though I went out of breath last time doing it. But I want to read you this poem that explains you. Not me, you. Because my dad wrote this poem. And it's weird. My dad worked for the government for over 47 years. For Congress, matter of fact. And he did have friends. And we used to have friends come to our house. And he'd have them for dinner, my mom and dad. But I grew up kind of in solitude. And this poem is by my dad. It's in the Evening Star. This is the smaller one here. There's a way I can't see. If I took the time to read the longer ones to you, you'd be here for an hour. I got my son ordered me some stronger glasses, but still don't help that much. But this was in the Evening Star, Washington, D.C., it says. And the year down here is October, it's either the 29th or the 28th. No, either the 20th or the 29th, but it's 1956. You can barely make it out. Right there. These were saved. But this poem is called You. And I want to, as Jack Bernstein's daughter, and the only one with all of his poems, and I never published a book for him, I want to read this out to you, my friends. You. It is you who inspires me with kind words of cheer, which is true, my comments Oh my God. They always make me feel so good. You bring happiness. Oh boy, is that true? To life and friendship so dear. It's so true. I feel like I'm so close to so many of you that sometimes when you don't leave a comment, I worry. I'm like, oh no. I heard from her for a while. Is she okay? It's weird, and I've never met you all, but it's just the commenting, and it's just so close. It is you who can bring a smile to my face, which is hard to do. I don't smile much. I actually got a tear in my eye there. 'Tis you that brings sunshine clouds of gloom. You erase. Did you know it was you who gave me life anew? When in the depths of despair, you would change my view. It's true. Did you know you were strong and ever so brave? Some of you think you're not, and you are. You have no idea how you are. You have no idea how you brought this woman's life much happiness. Especially some of you. I feel so close to some of you. Especially Natalie. That I'll always be grateful for the life you helped save, which is mine. And my dad wrote this back in 56. So I was born in 1948. So he had no idea this would relate to me. From my heart, I'll always say, thanks, dear friend. I promise you, whatever you may ask of me, my heart will gladly do. Jack Bernstein. He was called the Poet Laureate of Capitol Hill. My dad never knew that this would help me. My mom and dad only had, I had a sister and the two of us girls. But I miss them a lot too. I'm sure you do too, with us being older. Stand up and show you this outfit for today. I always think we should dress up a little bit when we go out. If my son says, Mom, you're going to go to Target, even if I battle him a little bit because he knows I'm pretty agoraphobic, he's like, no, get dressed. You like to wear your good clothes. And believe me, he makes sure. And my 57-year-old daughter, who just got out of the hospital, they all make sure, and my working daughter, that I have beautiful clothes. They always order me stuff from Amazon or give me a gift card to order something from Amazon. And these are the shoes that I showed you. I guess you can't go down that low. Let's see if I can hold on to something because I've fallen twice so you can see them. I showed them before, but I don't think they're going to show up. And this is the black and white one that I put a link to in one of the previous videos. And this is a real Louis Vuitton blazer that my children got me years and years ago on eBay. On eBay back then, everything, you didn't have to have it legitimized, but it really is legit. I mean, but you didn't have to have it be approved. It was much, much cheaper. I think they only paid like $35 or $40 for this back then. I'd had it that long, never worn it. But I just had to read that poem to you because my dad would have had no idea that I would have needed this poem in future years of my life. Because, as I say, this was in 56, so I had to be 48 for 950. 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old when my dad wrote this. There's so many of them I could read to you. They were published in the Evening Star, and some of them were in other magazines too. And unfortunately, I really never noticed all the magazines that he was in. Any new magazine that came out before he died, he would have been in, one of his poems would have been in the magazines. Well, God bless you. Please have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the friends that you do have. Life's short enough. You need family. You always need family, and you'll always have family, whether you disagree with them or not. They're the people that are going to be standing over us at the end. No matter whether you're arguing now or sometimes people are in the middle of an argument and something terrible happens to them. I know I was speaking with my husband as he was in hospice. So I don't even know if he heard how much I loved him or anything. It's kind of like in a coma there. Anyway, you all have made my life cheerful, and I'm not a cheerful person. God bless you. And I have a speaker, so I hope you all can hear me a little bit for here on my blast. I just want to thank you for all your wonderful subscriptions and your comments. And if you any other YouTubers need shouting out, like I will get the girl Becky, who I just subscribed to. I believe it was Becky 1966 was her. She was born in my daughter's age. And thank God my daughter is now out of the hospital again. God, every couple of weeks it's a hospital. This time it's pneumonia because there's so many things wrong with her. Her weakness is down. She catches any autoimmune disease. But I am going to run the strut test and fight to stay alive for my children and take whatever heart medicine. Maybe not surgery, but whatever heart medicine. God bless you for being my friends. I love you all. You have no idea. You've changed my life. I went from kind of sad to pretty happy. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend. I love you. And anybody needs me to shout them out, you just write it. There's so many people on the internet. We can't share them. We can't help our sisters. God bless. Love you.